Hello, this is Lisa and Imagination Sisterhood Studio. And when I just finished up a video that was to make I made a little circle with a 3-inch punch. I made a circle journal that was coffee themed, and I was talking about, as I was making it, all the fun themes that you could use with that little tiny journal, and made me think of doing one on bees. And I have a bunch of bee stuff collected. So that got me thinking about what I would do. And of course, I can't ever be simple because that's not how I work. So I was thinking of doing a hexagon shape, like a honeycomb shape like this. And then, I'm not that good at cutting. So I thought, no, that's going to be too much work. Then I was thinking, well, what else goes with bees? And I have this, I got it at my secondhand store. I have this really nifty jar stamp. It's a good size. And I thought, well, that would be fun if I took the jar stamp and cut out jars and then made a jar-shaped journal. That is what this project is all about, making a jar-shaped journal that is the theme of bees. Now, you don't have to have a jar stamp. You could obviously kind of come up with the basic idea of what a jar shape is. You could use just a regular rounded off square and kind of, go with that. I just like fun shapes, so I'm doing with this. So I'm going to cut all this out. I've stamped a bunch of different things that have bee themes and some, what's this stuff called? Craft paper. And I don't have any idea how many of these I'm going to need. I'm just going to get started. I'm going to do a bunch of cutting and then I'll be back. All right, I'm back. I put my very zen Insight timer music on. I got out my little fussy cut scissors and I went into the zone and did all the fussy cutting of my jars. I actually enjoy doing that. If you don't enjoy doing that, I would recommend you could easily do a rectangle and then use, I'm looking for it, hold on. You could do a rectangle and this is a nice wide rounded corner. So if you did a rectangle with the rounded corner, that would be just as cute. So you don't need the jar stamp. You don't need to do the fussy cutting. You can do it a simpler way. This is just what I'm choosing to do. Then the next thing I did is decide how I was going to hinge this. In the circle journal that I did, I just used a little slip of paper to glue each of the circles together and make a hinge. So I'm going to do the same thing with this. You can easily use washi tape. I'm choosing not to use washi tape, first of all, because I want it to hold up. I'm going to sell this journal, so I wanted to make sure it has some longevity, that it lasts. And also with washi tape, to me, you have to glue it to make sure it stays stuck and all that kind of stuff. So I just decided to go with paper. If you are using washi tape, great. You would probably need a wider, thicker washi tape. So this washi tape is, give me a ruler. I got 3 of them here. Why can't I grab one? This is like a 3/4 inch, about a 3/4 inch washi tape. And I think my papers are just a little under 3/4 inch. So I just cut a strip of something that goes with this. You're not really going to see this, so it's not all that important. Or you can do this a couple of ways. You may see it. So if you want to see it, then pick something that matches. For the way I do it, I'm not going to see it a whole lot. All right. So I picked 3/4 of an inch, and based on my shape, so this is going to be decided by what shape you use, I need the tape to go in between where the curves are. So here's a curve and here's a curve. So I can't have the tape on the curve, so my tape is going to go right on the straight. So if you were using this, you could use a really big piece of tape. All right. You could also use an accordion spine for this, but I decided I didn't want to do that. I don't know why, just decided I didn't want to do it. And I'm thinking as I'm doing this, no, I think I'm going to do it this way. So when you glue this on, if you want to see it, you could put it on the front. If you don't want to see it, you can put it on the back. And that way you don't see it at all. So it really doesn't matter. If you want to see it, which is kind of fun, you could put it on the front. All right. I want to alternate I think I'm going to use the craft paper for my front and cover and back cover. I'm just going to hold on to those. They're probably going to be double backed. So this is all going to be double thickness. And these are all out of cardstock. So they're a nice heavy weight. If you want to use paper, you're going to have to back it because it's not going to be thick enough to hold up to what we're doing. All right, let's start planning here. So the next thing I do, if you've watched any of my videos, I always start out with what do I want to see on my front cover. This one is obviously going to need something, so we're going to have to start with something on that side. But then I really want something that's very, just, I don't know, kind of pops. I want something that pops. This one really pops. This one, if I put something on, has some real pow to it. This one, if I put some bees and stuff on it. Some of the other ones are just too plain to me. I don't know that that really is representative of the feel of the whole book. I like that one, but it's not really. I think I'm going to go with this one. So that's going to be my first page that's going to connect to this page. And at this point, I need to decide if I am gluing to the front or to the back. And I think I am going to be gluing to the back. So the first thing I am going to do is glue one side. Just going to glue one side, and I'll get it started this way. And then from there, I'll decide. With the circle journal, the pages all were of craft paper, so they were all neutral. And I could just glue them all together. With this one, I want to use the patterns of the paper. So I'm going to need to spend a little bit of time deciding what order I want them in. And this is going to end up going like this. So I'm going to have to do something on the outside here. Oh no, it can go this way, and then I've got to glue something on the inside. All right. The benefit of doing this way is that every page is going to be a pocket, which is kind of fun. I got to see how about that one? Do we like that together? Yeah, as it turns out, we're using that one in the front because I'm going to put it on the other side. So these two are going to go together. So I'm going to put them back to back like this. And then it's unfortunate that my hinge here matches my yellow paper. I'm going to put some glue all the way, not all the way up to the fold, but quite close to the fold. If you get it too close, then it kind of causes a problem. And I'm just going to fold that over. I'm going to make sure they're somewhat aligned. Since I hand cut these, this is not going to be perfect. They are not going to line up perfectly, and I'm going to be okay with that. I'm already thinking what I can stick in here because, you know, I can't keep it simple. I was thinking I kind of wanted some cheesecloth in between pages. That might be some fun. So might think on that. I've got some gorgeous yellow ribbon too that's really ruffly. And as you can see, I hope you can see. You can see a little bit of that yellow through there. And so that's kind of why it matters what you put there. And then we are going to glue this one to. So I think I'm going to glue them in pairs to make it simpler for everybody watching. So let's do them in pairs. So I like those two together. My next two, I think I like this little yellow with this black. I like the contrast of that. So I'm just going to put them face to face. And then I am going to put the hinge on the back. So let's just glue the hinge. If you've got washi tape, just stick it right on there. You have one less step than I have, and you don't have to worry about the glue and my glue nozzle is kind of getting sticky. You don't have to worry about all that. And then we're just going to glue these together. And we want to make sure they're in the same place as the previous set. So you can see this is a little bit off, so I need to move it up a little bit before I glue it. It's a little bit off. This project is a little fussy. I'm going to be the first one to admit it. You got to do a lot of cutting and a lot of measuring, and if that's not your thing, I would say squares and washi tape. Do squares and washi tape, because that makes it a lot easier, especially if you have a nice square punch. All right, that's 2. We decided we'd like those together. Kind of like those together. Glue my little tab. Both sides. And then I want to line these up to my first ones. And that way I can see where my hinge goes, and my hinge goes right there. Oops, that didn't work, did it? Line up my jars, line up my hinge, and then let's line it up to the other ones. And that's got to move down a little bit. This is pretty fussy, I gotta admit. I don't think about things being fussy till I make them, because I don't think about fussiness. But for other people, it's a craft killer. I don't want it to be a craft killer. So again, I would, if this seems way fussy, go with circles, go with squares, go with rectangles, go with ovals, whatever you want, and washi tape. Alrighty. All right, so now we have, this is basically all of our pages. So this is not a big, this is going to be a little tiny mini journal. It's not going to be, I guess you could make this as thick as you wanted, but being as it's kind of small, I didn't want it to have a lot of pages because it causes a problem. All right, so from here, we are just going to glue fronts to backs. And because this is, because of the construction, it means that I am going to have a pocket in between each page. So where's the page that I wanted to be in the front? We wanted this one in the front. Now I'm going to just see how pages go after that. I think I want something like that plain one after that. See, I don't want those two back to back. They're almost the same, so I don't want that. I want something different back to back. This is kind of big, so I kind of like that. I like this back to back, and that looks good when you turn it. You got like a small black and a big black. We will go with that. I like these all together. So they're different sizes of similar kind of things. This one's stripes and stripes, but these stripes are bigger and smaller, even though this is a plaid. You got big black lines and small black lines, so those look really good back to back. Let's see what's next. We got this. I don't like the B's and the B's. Don't like that. I guess we're doing this one. Let's see. Might have to change this up a little bit. Yeah, I think that'll work that way. So let's do that. And the bees, yep, that works. And then we'll go back to what we had. So that's the yellow and the bees, and this will be the last page. And that'll have bees on the back. All right, so that's our whole book. Basically, we're done. Now we're going to put the cover on. So this is going to go on the cover on here and a cover on here. And at this point, before I do any gluing, I need to decide, because I really thought I wanted like cheesecloth or something in there. So before I do any gluing, I have to stop and decide if I want something in there. So let me think about that a minute, and I'll be right back. Well, I have found a bunch of fun things to play with. I have this gorgeous ruffly yellow ribbon. I have some cheesecloth. I have some meshy black stuff. So I think between all of that, I have enough things to play with. But you never know. You never know where that imagination thing is going to take you. But for right now, we're going to work one thing at a time. All right. If I want stuff between the layers, I got to do it now because my layers are not glued together yet. And I definitely want something between these front layers. So that's where I'm going to start. And I don't want this squared off. I want it kind of at an angle and a little bit, you know, raggedy looking. So I'm not going to be really fussy about it. I can always trim it up if I want. But I kind of, yeah, I don't want it that big. But we're going to start with that. This is the only pocket that probably will not have a pocket. I mean, 2 pages that will not have a pocket because it's got the cheesecloth in it. And I do not need a blue thread in there. Let's take the blue thread out. I'm going to use my Fabri-Tac because I am gluing fabric to paper. I may go in, I'm noticing some of my, I did not cut some of my, what are they? The edges around the jars. I didn't cut them quite clean. I can't decide if I want to be fussy about that or not. I didn't want to get really hung up on perfect edges on my jar cutting. And they don't match. They're not the stamp is not the same on both sides. I think I'm going to smooth this a little bit with my credit card if I can find it. Here it is. Because it's a little, I went a little crazy there on the edge, and I've got glue puddles. Never like glue puddles. They cause problems when you least expect it. And let's just make sure that's good on all sides, and it is. It also kind of hides any of the places that are not perfectly perfect. We are not looking for perfectly perfect. So I think we can say that one is El Dono. I need to clean off my glue thing here though, because otherwise I can't use it again. I think that'll work okay. All right, so that will ultimately be our cover. I'm not going to think anymore about it because if I start thinking, I will stop going. From here, all we're going to do is glue, and you're going to glue. I'll do one, and then I'll do the others fast. So you are going to glue the, in this case, in the jar shape. It's hard to see. You're going to start from the curve. Come on, glue. There we go. And you're going to glue up around the top and around the edge, around the bottom, kind of close to the edge. And as soon as it stops, just like this, as soon as it stops making a curve, so it stopped making a curve there, and I'm just going to put a little glue here and a little glue here. And that's where my next page goes. And that is going to leave my pocket right here. My pocket is going to be between here and here. And that will work wonderfully. I'll do one more on one that you can see the glue a little better. And then I'll do fast. So you're doing it all around here. And see, here's the curve. So I don't want the glue to go past the curve. And then we're doing it all the way across the hinge because we want our hinge to be glued and around the bottom. And, oh, there I am making the curve, so I'm stopping. And as you can see, that's going to make the pocket. And we're just gluing that on. Lining it up the best I can. It's not going to be perfect because they're all hand cut. So it's not like my circle journal that I punched. These are all hand cut, so they're all a little bit different. Just a little bit. You do want to make sure, however, that your spine is continuing to line up. That's the only critical thing here. All right, now I'm just going to glue. Okay, so now we have our, that's it. It's our jar journal is all glued together. I'm definitely going to trim this up because it's like a maniac going wild here. Getting all over the place in the pages, and that's not what I signed up for, dude. Yeah, there we go. I think I might cut this off because we're going to have to do something. All right. So what are we left to do? We've got, this is all nice and ratty and taggedy, which I really love. I think we'll need to trim it a little bit more. All right, we've got that kind of done. We obviously want to put some decoration on here. You can, so here's an, you can be done. This, to me, this is done. From here, you can decorate it. You can put, each one of these pages is a pocket. Okay, little pocket in there. I would suggest using a tabbed, you know, if you want to put stuff in there, they're going to have to have like a little circle or something so that you can pull them out like this. Okay, so they're going to have a little thingy so that you can pull them out because it's pretty, this is all cardstock. So each one of these has a pocket, which is fun. You can put all kinds of little special B notes in there. And you can decorate, obviously. I'm going to decorate the cover. The only thing you might want to do, and I haven't decided if I'm doing it, is you might want to cover your little spiny thing here. You don't have to. It's all glued together. It's completely fine. If you feel like you would like, for example, I might like to put this little piece of ribbon on there and just cover it up. You don't have to. It will be fine the way it is. If you want to cover it up, you can just slap something over there. You can put something over the whole thing. You can cover the whole thing if you want. But regardless of what you do, right now, this is done. So it's left to you to decorate this and make this as fun and silly, whimsical, whatever as you want to. I will post what I end up doing with it on the end of this video and also on my Facebook and Instagram page. Thanks for crafting with me. This is Lisa in Imagination Sisterhood Studio. Have a good day. If you like this, please subscribe, like, and comment.